Welcome back to Spirit You. It's me, Danny, and today I'm going to share a spiritual tip that will really help you, get more present and understand how to deal with life every day, or how you can deal with life every day. You don't need to follow this. This is just advice, and this is just like an idea, concept that I don't know if I came up with it. I don't know where I got it from, but I've been using this explanation. Is it an anecdote? Yeah, I've been using this explanation to help a lot of clients of mine, like for a very long time. I know after when I start explaining it, the people that I have explained to, they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember him saying that. Oh yeah, it makes so much sense." Maybe I got it from somewhere. I don't know, but it's the way I pictured how we can utilize our energy. So yeah, this is a tip or a piece of advice about how we can use our energy every day. How, I don't want to say should, because I don't like that word, but it's a great way to envision the way we utilize and use and consume our energy every day. So let me start by saying, sorry if it sounds like I got something in my mouth. I got these raspberry drops. So I'm eating candy because my blood sugar was a bit low, so I'm eating candy to keep my blood sugar regulated, kinda. And I'm just enjoying it. Look, today I need to enjoy myself a little bit, especially because I'm about to explain this crazy ass energy tip. It's quite simple, but as usual, I'm planning to talk heaps and go deep with it so we can, get more out of it. So there's the tip, there's the energy spiritual tip that I'm going to give. And it's actually very simple. Shouldn't take that long to get it out of the way. But today I wanted to actually expand on it, elaborate, extrapolate on it, and see where we can take it. Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, damn man, this little concept, I thought of goes deep, and it could possibly help the billions out there, maybe if they want to. Because as of course, if you all haven't learnt yet, you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. You cannot entertain an audience who does not wish to be entertained, or who does not wish to listen. I was engaging with someone I met recently, and one thing I found very restrictive, or a barrier I ran into with engaging with them, is that in simple terms, they don't like to listen. I know that doesn't sound right, but maybe I explained this properly. I'm the type of person, I love to share wisdom and advice, and I like to have open mind discussions. So when I talk about something, it's a piece of knowledge. I present a piece of knowledge, we look at it and we go, oh. Especially when I feel that some people could benefit from seeing different perspectives of an idea. But sometimes you run across people who are, I don't know, they just don't want to listen and they don't want to bother. They say, oh, it's too much talk, or you overthink. Even though, funnily enough, they overthink a lot themselves. I'm the biggest overthinker. It's just luckily I learned how to master it and make it one of the best things that I have in my toolbox. Other people, they look at it like, oh, it's a curse. It's up to you what you do with your abilities and skills and talents, and how you choose for them to affect you, for all that to affect you. Well, like I was saying, some people just, I don't know, Yeah, you can tell I'm upset and I'm venting because it's frustrating, man. Like I'm trying to have nice, insightful discussions about stuff, and some people just tell me, "Oh, no, it's like this because of this," and then that's it. And I don't know. They don't tell me. They don't tell me anything new. They just tell me that, hey, everything's different. Okay, not everything's this way. Not that I was saying anything is this way. I'm just presenting an idea like, hey, don't you think that this, and all they do is nullify the discussion by saying a profound idea, which I feel is a way for them to deter any responsibility or deter them from really sharing how they feel about something. You know, when you talk with people, it's nice to get an opinion, or it's nice to hear people's opinions. There's a lot of people out there that deter ever sharing a piece of them, ever they prevent any chance of being vulnerable by throwing an idea or responsibility of an idea onto another person, onto an authority, onto God, or onto some sort of concept that may sound profound. And unfortunately, to the learned and well-versed people, isn't so profound. Anyway, okay, that's enough of my vent. What was I talking about there again? I think I was just talking about that just to get that shit off my chest. But yeah, I know, because you can't help people that don't want to listen. But whatever. The purpose of me and bringing Spirit U is not to become famous and not to become viral or popular or grab the attention of all you people so that I can make millions or anything. No. If anything, no. In a sense, sadly, Spirit U is like, it's like a book I'm leaving behind with all my scramblings and contemplations, so that when I die, at least I left something physical behind, a physical piece of spirituality, an earth. I'm turning a lot of my spirit, a lot of my air into earth, so that just in case I pass away too soon, because I'm only going to live probably another 230 years. I think that's how long my body can last. About 220 something years. I don't know if my body will last that long. Yeah, so at least I'm going to have some sort of peace, some sense of earth from all this wind up here that all y'all can enjoy for centuries and millennia to come. That's what the purpose. That's one of my purposes. That's one of my main purposes behind Spirit U. I don't care about being viral or like entertaining y'all. This ain't no entertainment. The fuck? Go watch Teletubbies or The Wiggles or some shit if you want entertainment. Or here we're only here to, well, we're here to have fun, but we're here to mainly expand our spiritual awareness, enlighten ourselves, and yeah, help each other grow, especially in a spiritual sense. That was another vent, wasn't it? Oh well. All right, let's go on to this concept or this piece of spiritual advice. I don't know what to call it. I can't remember what you call this kind of thing. Is it a parable? No. It's just a concept or a case. So it could help you guys. It can help everyone understand a way that they can utilize their energy in their everyday. And this concept can help everybody become a little bit more present in their everyday lives as well. I'll start by saying first, I've helped like some of the clients I help, some of the friends I help. Sometimes they're troubled by holding on to thoughts and memories or ideas or relationships that they had in the past. Because as a lot of people love to do, they love to glorify experiences that they lived in the past. And so, unfortunately, the past is way over there, and it doesn't exactly help as much with the present. Of course, past also helps to, it helps explain how one is now built presently. But I'm just saying, when you keep living in the past, you don't live here. And if you keep holding on to things in the past, like relationships or ideas or mindsets or philosophies, it could really hinder the potential you could have right now. So this has helped a lot of people. And the other day, I was talking to someone that comes to one of my workplaces sometimes, and we're having a chat. And yeah, he was talking about things he was holding on to. And then I said this little piece to him. And then while I was saying, I was like, oh, damn, I should chuck this on Spirit U. So here it is. This is a way that everyone out there can utilize or manage their energy every day. So as I was talking to the past, I was talking about the past. A lot of people I talk to, when they keep giving their attention to the past, or they keep thinking about the past, holding on to the past, and they know that they should let go. They know that maybe they shouldn't put so much attention into the past. I give them a perspective so they can understand what they are doing and what they could possibly do alternatively. Did I say that correctly in English? Yeah. So use this concept to give you a nicer perspective. Look, every day, for some reason, when I go deeper, this will explain. But every day, we get given a bucket of water. And this water is our energy. We get a bucket full of life energy. Let me use a vessel. Okay. Every day, we get a bucket of life energy. See all that life energy in there? Hold on, let me have some of that. Life energy. So every day, when we wake up, once we've rested enough, and this will fill up, and we'll get a new full bucket of life energy. And every day, we can pour this water, this life energy, this spirit into different things. We can pour it into ourselves. We can pour it into ourselves and the garden around us, our closest people around us, into those kind of relationships. We can pour this daily bucket of energy into plants that we used to water in the past. Maybe in the past we used to water these plants and they were fruitful and they were good and they served a purpose. But over time, things change, and maybe we didn't realize back then that what we were watering was maybe not good for us, or toxic, or detrimental. A lot of people, when they become more aware of what's good for them, what is not good for them, they start to realize, man, I gotta stop watering this thing. Because what else people can do with their daily energy is use that water and water new plants, new things, like new hobbies, new jobs, new relationships. Or if not new ones, they look around what's around them and invest and pour this energy into the good things that work well for them, that benefit for them, that align with them and what they want in life, how they want to live their life, what they want for their future, if anything, if we want to go as far as the future. So, in a sense, the advice becomes more clear to, the people I've explained this to in the past. It's like, yo, man, every day, I say it simply like this, every day we get a bucket full of water. You're upset because you keep pouring water into dead plants or into the old plants that aren't benefiting you anymore. Sure, some of them you keep pouring into, those plants might still grow and they might still fruit, but maybe that fruit is not good for you anymore. For example, it might be an old hobby, like, I don't know, drag racing. You used to be into like doing up your car and racing all the time and all that. And I don't know, maybe you got too carried away and you had trouble with your driving license because you were driving illegally and all that stuff. You can still put water into that stuff, put a lot of water into that stuff, and sadly, it's not going to benefit you in the life you may be trying to live now, because maybe you don't want to be involved in drag racing and all that. Would you be doing yourself a favor by continually pouring your daily water into, for example, the drag racing plant, the racing plant, the cars, the relationships you built in that demographic, all those people, all those connections, all those businesses? Is it beneficial for you to continually pour your daily water? Because maybe it might not be your main focus anymore, but half of your bucket could be just spent watering those things that maybe you don't need to water anymore, when you could in fact be watering this new thing, this new relationship, this new job, this new hobby. Your well-being, you could pour it into your well-being, your children's well-being, your family's well-being, things for them. Because at the end of the day, this bucket's going to become empty after you've poured off enough. And that's when we get tired, and that's when we sleep, and that's when the bucket refills, so the next day we can continue to water and water more things. Are we better off investing and pouring this water into things that align with what we truly wish for our lives, what truly benefits us, what benefits the future we want to build, the people, the hobbies, the adventures and enterprises, everything that we wish to grow? Or are we going to keep pouring water into these plants that probably may not even be growing anymore, or may not provide the fruit that is good for us anymore? Or even worse, provide water to this garden, and there's too many weeds in this garden that's sapping all your water and putting that potential that you're putting in to waste. Because maybe you're still investing in a good plant and you're still watering a good plant, but there's a lot of trash around this plant. Like, the people in charge of that area, that garden, they haven't been looking after it properly. And even though you're trying to put water into this plant, there's some bullshit other ass plants that are sapping all the nutrients and water and soil And in a sense, you're kind of wasting your daily energy by trying to make something grow that's not going to grow well. Because when we consider this daily water of ours and where we pour into, we I don't want to say we can. It's good if we consider where it gets poured, because sometimes where we pour it into, it might be good. Like in essence, we might be pouring our water into a plant or into an idea or into an energy that's good, but maybe the environment that it is being poured into is not the best. For example, I could what's a good example? I'm making up an example in my head right now. Yeah, like, I hate to use people and relationships as examples, but it's gonna work. This person, for example, oh yeah, he's a good person. Oh, he's funny. You know, I love hanging around him. I always have a good time. But whenever I hang out with this fool, him and his friends, they like to get up to some risky ass behavior and start, I don't know, shoplifting shit at every shop we go to. Whenever we eat at a restaurant, we always end up doing a run on. Like, we end up doing bad things. It's all fun and like we always have a good time. You know, we all connect really well. Like, you know, we all have that good chemistry with each other. But I don't know. And I'm especially closest to the friend. You know, what's his name? Johnny. I'm especially close to Johnny, and like me and him, like we just understand each other. We always support each other and all that stuff. But it's hard for me to tell them, hey man, you gotta leave those friends because they're not good for you. Or it's hard for me to, you know, boss them around like, hey, everyone should be like this, like that. I can if I know how to pour the right kind of water into it, and I can take lead and change them into all better things. But overall, that environment maybe not so good, because everything around Johnny isn't as good for me. Like, I don't get along with the others that well, but we all have fun together doing shit. We can think of that like, I know a lot of people that want to stop drinking and partying. A sister was asking me, like, oh man, like now everything's different. Like, I don't even know like if I can still be friends with these people anymore because I don't want to really party anymore. And she said, oh, I'm sad because like it's like, I don't know if like, I don't want to do what they want to do, but like whenever I hang out with them, all they want to do is party and stuff. So I had to tell her like, yo, they were just your party friends. Don't be sad. You know, that doesn't mean you're a bad person for wanting to leave them. You just have different interests now. And in terms of the life water bucket example, what my sister was trying to explain was that whenever she connected with these other gardeners, they would all pour their water into the plants of partying, the party plants. But she don't want to. But now my sister don't want to invest in that party plant anymore. Everyone else, the other crowd, they're still pouring all their water into the party plants, eating all the party fruit. They're having fun, but she don't want to be part of it anymore. So I just told her like, hey, look, they were your friends for that. Maybe other things that these gardeners invest in, you could still invest in those things with them, but you know the main portion of where their water goes and how you connect with them is by putting your water into these party plants. Maybe some of them work with you. You can pour into that work relationship with that. Some of them are family. You can pour into keeping the relationship there. You don't have to specifically pour into the partying plants and the partying garden. You can still, nurture and put water into the relationships for reasons like, family, friendships, work things, maybe other hobbies you guys share together, or like, stories or TV shows that you guys love watching and talking about, but the main thing is she felt that she didn't have friends anymore because all her friends were friends that all used to contribute to the party garden. And I told her, look, now you've got time and space. You've got water. You've got lots of water to invest into new things now. Start watering new things. They might not be as cool and fruitful as the awesome party plants that you and all the party gardeners grew together, because that's one thing that keeps a lot of people in the past as well. Like, yo, all that water over the years that they invested and watered into the old plants, them plants grow big and they bear a lot of fruit, and it just feels like a waste to walk away and not reap the benefits of those plants anymore. Because in a possessive sense, in a propriety sense, you or one may have a lot of rights over that garden because they're one of the founding gardeners who helped to grow this tree. So like a lot of the fruit is rightfully theirs. But if the fruit ain't for you anymore, maybe you can let it go. Let other people enjoy the garden that you grew that was originally for yourself. It's not for yourself anymore. You can start a new garden. Do a new thing. Or you can do, because this is easy as well, look for other gardens that are out there and see where you want to contribute your water. Because maybe you might feel better finding this other nice big garden with lots of cool fruit that you want in your life. You want that fruit of care and nurturing and peace. Yeah, I'll go to that garden. I will invest my water in that garden and help those plants grow, or keep those plants sustained so that I can eat that peace fruit or that badminton fruit, because now I'm so into badminton, or volleyball fruit, because I've been watching this volleyball anime and all of a sudden I want to play volleyball and I'm all about volleyball. So yeah, the volleyball garden over there, I think my water will go there now. It doesn't have to go to the party garden anymore. Oops, hold on. Yeah. Your daily water that you get every day, your bucket full every day, it doesn't have to go to those things in the past, because some of those gardens are dead. Some of those plants are dead. Even when, as we go on in the future, or even as we go on, we might be finding that some of the things we're trying to water now, they don't grow as well, or they come off to a very rough start and they don't fruit as well as we hope to. That's now, so that idea is more of a question of, persistence and like endurance and perseverance. For example, if you start a new business and you don't find that this plant or this garden or this business is as fruitful as you want, it's up to you if you really want to hold on and see if it starts to eventually bear the fruit, or enough fruit that you find sustaining or enjoyable for yourself. Or you can just give up on it and use your time and energy, your daily bucket, putting it into other things. So there's lots of, every day we get this bucket full of water, this bucket full of energy. It's really, we have the power to choose where we put a lot of this water. Life, energy, daily, see, D for daily water. Some of the places that we have to invest this water, I don't like to say have to, but in a sense, sometimes we have to invest some of our daily water into things like the gardens around us. And these are necessities. For example, acquiring food and shelter, or our family around us that live in our home. You know, whether I like it or not, it's best that part of my daily water goes to a bit of that. Not everyone pours in their own garden. Okay, yeah, so, all right. This is the part where I'm going to expand, because we all pretty much understand the whole idea of the daily water thing and watering the past or watering the future or watering the present. You know, we understand that already. So, like, it's time to go deep and really expand on all this shit about the watering. My apologies if the concept and the idea gets out of line and stuff, but who cares? This is the fun part. This is where we get to brainstorm and go hard. I was about to say something. I was about to explain something. What was it? I can't remember. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. Wait, hold on. I'll look at my notes. I put notes on my phone for this shit. Alright, so alright. On my notes, this is the first thing it's listed. So with our daily water, our daily energy, like I was saying, there's things that we might have to pour water into, like our daily necessities for living, relationships that we have to keep well in order for us to have a nice, harmonious every day. For example, having a nice relationship with, I don't know, your boss, your co-workers, or your family, your neighbors. You don't have to, but it's nice. Having a nice relationship with the law. There's things that some of our water needs to go to. But yeah, the first thing on my notes is relationships. So this is when we look at bonds and relationships with people, they're in this concept, they're the plants. The people, they're just gardeners. The other people out there, they can be plants in a sense, but they're also just gardeners. Everyone is a gardener. Everyone every day has the bucket of water. So, you know, when you look out there in the world, there's heaps of gardens out there and they all got water. Where are they pouring that water into? Are they pouring it into you, your garden? Are you pouring your water into them? And when you engage with people and you build a relationship, what you're doing is you're pouring water into a plant that you and this other gardener have decided to build. That thing you're building, the relationship, the bond. So you pour water and you help this plant grow. Some plants, you know, as soon as you make eye contact with someone and you smile, the plant shoots up straight away and it's already a big ass tree, or it's like multiple trees. A lot of others, it takes time for these seeds to sprout. It depends. Some people, some gardeners can just work magic together just like that. Some don't. But either way, when you start engaging with someone, you start watering the plants of relationship between each other. Now you can water different kinds of plants with people. For example, me and, I don't know, let's think of a person. Let's make up a name. Me and Susie. I just met Susie 2 days ago. And then as soon as we saw each other and then we talked about, I don't know, Pokemon, boom, we already, for some reason, like we just poured a bit of water and then we already established a big ass Pokemon plant. So now whenever we want to talk about Pokemon together, we can enjoy the fruits of this tree that just bursted between us, and we can both happily invest into it, you know, happily water and tend to it and enjoy the fruits of our labor. There's some good relationships like that. Whereas when further in the day, I bumped into this other person. Let's give him a name. I bumped into Why can't I think of a name? What's a human's name? Human's name. Peter. I bumped into Peter, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he said, "Yeah, not bad. How are you?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then we tried to connect somehow, have small talk. We both poured a little bit of water, and we just have a little sprout right now. That's all we got together. Whereas me and Susie, when we just engage with each other, boom, a huge ass tree. Considering Pokemon was already started in our garden, and then the more we talk, we found out, hey, we both love eating more authentic gourmet pizzas rather than the regular fast food, junk food pizzas that you get at big chain companies. Boom, there's more trees in our garden that me and Susie had. Just like that, we just pouring a little bit of water and boom, we're getting all these mad plants together. So we're enjoying the fruits there. Versus when me and Peter, we got no beef. There's nothing wrong between us. But we happen to see each other sometimes when we finish work and we walk past. We've noticed each other a few times and we're like, hey, what's going on? And yeah, we've got a few little sprouts right now. We haven't really talked much, but at least we know we put in an effort to say hello and acknowledge that we both exist. And that means we both poured a little bit of our daily energy into it. We don't have to pour a lot, Sometimes I walk past, he's not there, or sometimes we see each other, we just give a nod. Sometimes it's not even, we don't even put water into it, but we know it's there in case we ever engage, we've got these little sprouts. So when we have relationships with people and we build rapport, we are, in a sense, watering these plants with our daily energy. It's not only engaging with people or other gardeners. Hold on, my English was incorrect. Was about to come up incorrectly. So we don't only pour into relationship plants with other gardeners. Sometimes we pour into relationship plants with other groups, with other organizations, other groups of friends, organizations, companies. Sometimes we go to gardens and then that are already established and we pour our water there too. And thus creating the little sprouts between us that make me part of the garden now. Did I explain that problem? It's for example, I don't know, crude example. Yeah, that's the McDonald's garden over there. And I want to show them I'm down with the McDonald's. So I pour a bit of my water there and they're like, hey, thanks for investing in our garden. We'll pour a bit into this new plant you're trying to grow with us as well. And thus we both start growing the relationship between me and the McDonald's. And sometimes it sprouts well, sometimes it doesn't sprout well. Whatever, we started. And now I have something I have a garden and some sprouts or some plants, whatever it turns into, that I can invest some of my water into. So you can think of it whenever you go to different restaurants and you build that rapport with different places, you're yeah, I already got some plants there. I already got some relationships with the people there. That's why, we get more comfortable returning to certain places or certain businesses, because you build that rapport with people. And it's nicer and convenient just pouring water into plants that have already fruited or that have already established themselves. Because it gets uncomfortable and it gets sad when you try to build or grow new plants with people and they don't sprout as well, or they don't grow as well as we hope. Some take a long time, some happen straight away, but the plants that don't sprout well or don't sprout at all, it can be a bit heartbreaking. And how we deal with the effects of that, I don't know. Some people get traumatized. Some people just like, look, that didn't work between us, whatever. Some people are like, nah, maybe we can still make this work. You try to invest or water another seed, sprout another seed, but it doesn't work. Sometimes that becomes clear. It's like, yo, all right, we two gardeners, our waters don't work with each other. Okay, so that will bring me to a new point. Give me a break. Let me have some of this daily water. So this is where I expand a bit more and brainstorm and go a bit more crazy with the daily energy theory. Yeah, can we call it a theory? The bucket theory, the daily bucket, the daily water bucket theory. Daily water bucket theory. Is that too long? I don't know. We need something. The daily bucket theory. The bucket theory? Nah, maybe the bucket theory soon. I don't know, man. But soon, like, yo, this theory is gonna be created by me, and it's gonna be cool. And like, they're gonna make a statue of my face on a bucket. It's gonna be great. Well, anyway, or a statue of me and my head is a bucket or something like that. Whatever. Okay, let's go back to come back to Spirit You. All right. So when we get this daily water, as spiritual beings or as gods of our realm, to become more, to understand this idea a bit more in an advanced way, this water we get, we can affect what this water becomes or the way this water exists. Did I explain it properly? There's got to be a better way to explain that. I'll give an example first so you understand. This daily water, if I'm full of hateful energy, this water can easily become hate-filled water. Whereas if I'm filled with loving, happy, nurturing energy, this daily water can become full of loving, nurturing, and caring water from Danny himself. It can become lots of things all at once. It doesn't mean like, oh, today I'm happy, so this daily water is forever happy water. Like, I can turn it into hateful water. Like when I go to this garden, I can turn it into academic and smart, intricate, sophisticated water. When I go to this garden, I can turn it into playful, silly, clumsy water when I go to this garden. Whatever. We have the power and beauty of us is that we can transmute this energy, this water, into whatever we want, into whatever we feel, I should say. Because we might want this water to be a certain way, but if we're not feeling that certain way, it may not turn into the water we wish it to be. And thus, when we pour a specific type of water into a specific kind of plant, that plant may not grow into the plant we were hoping it to grow. So I'll go back to the example of the relationship plants. Let's go back to me and Peter. Next time I see Peter, Paul, I start talking about what is it? Drag racing and cars. Peter likes cars too. He's working on a car at home, a project car that he's been trying to get up and running for the past 2 years. That's him pouring his water. See, we're both pouring our water. But me, just to get on with this example, I'm concerned with racing, and I eventually want to get the cars that I'm working on, and hopefully his car, out in the street to compete in races. That's what I'm trying to pour. So I'm pouring energy concerned with doing street racing. Where Peter, he's only concerned in having a car that he's proud of having built and that he can keep so he can show his kids. Two different types of waters, because he's more about making a beautiful piece of art and heirloom that he can keep and showcase. That's what his water is. Whereas my water is more concerned with racing and the thrill and competition. Two different types of water. I got water of competition and racing. He's got water of building and admiring and adoring. Two different kinds of water, all going into the project car plant, whatever. Am I explaining this properly? Y'all know what I mean. Yeah, but we could be, depending on the water we put, it can change the outcome of the plant. I don't know if this is the right example. Let's take it to the extremes. Alright, so let's just say as time goes on, me and Peter, we start, we got some big ass plans now, and we got some mad relationships going on, and we're friends and we love chatting each other about cars and vehicles and automobiles and all that kind of stuff. But me, I've got all this water intent on making some super airship so I can take over the world. So I'm driven by villainy and wanting to conquer over other countries. Whereas he's more just concerned with the craft and just being able to build a masterpiece. So he wants to put his essence of building and creation and being masterful at the art of creating a super ship. That's the water he's pouring in. Whereas me, my water is driven by villainy and wanting to destroy the world. They're both helping the plant to grow amazing, because now, we first started with vehicle plants and car plants and all that and racing plants, but now it got to the point where we're making these big ass trees. We're growing this massive tree, and the tree is the super airship, but we're both pouring different kind of waters into it. So who knows what kind of fruit this tree is gonna bear. Am I pouring enough hateful villainy water into it so that it doesn't matter what he wants? Or am I smart enough to know that, hey, I've got to keep Peter around, so I'm going to water the other plants to keep Peter around and show him I'm still down with our garden, and have him continually pour his water into our big super airship, and I'll pour the villainy water in it, whether he cares or not, because I know at the end of the day, once that fruit bears, I've got some rights to that fruit, and that fruit is gonna have the essence of my super mastermind plan to take over the world. Look, I don't have any plans to take over the world with super airships or anything like that. So relax, everyone. And no, I don't, craftily engage in all my relationships with knowing as long as I'm investing a bit, I'm gonna reap the benefits out of it. Because that's sad. I am a carer. I'm a guardian. I'm a nurturer, and I like to make sure the gardens and the plants that everyone grows are exactly and as close to what people truly wish and what truly aligns with them in their lives. So no, I'm not doing that, and I'm not investing my time into someone so they can help me build some super airship to take over the world and taking advantage of their good graces. I can't stand that. I know how this sort of behind the scenes investing in people technique works, because it happens to me all the time. A lot of people like to keep me around because they know that I willingly stand up for things like honor and righteousness. So by, keeping me fed, keeping my plants fed, and the gardens, keeping the gardens between us fed, they know I'll be around so they can eat some of the fruits that they love to take off me. I'm still going to do it because I feel like a good person, having grown and nurtured and cultivated these fruits. Because at the end of the day, I like the harmony between me and people, and I like knowing that we can have lots of gardens out there. But there's a lot of people out there with second agendas, and they reap and they take from the gardens for motives that I may not agree with. When I do realize what's going on, it's up to me whether I want to continue investing in that garden or not. Because sometimes, even though, me and Perry, that garden we got, it's good. I'm not really happy with how he likes to go about things, but you know what? I can still invest in it because I'm still getting fruit I like from that. And it's not to my complete detriment. It's not a complete waste, because all I'm doing is putting 1% of my water into this garden. So it's not to my complete detriment. It might get to the point where it's yo, man, Perry, I gotta stop with you. We had a good run and stuff, but that 1%, I'm chucking it into something else. Because me and Susie, we're about to go on this crazy ass Pokemon adventure, and our tree is going off, and I need that 1% for something else. Or better, I need that 1% for my own garden, because I haven't been getting enough rest, or I haven't been getting enough time to look after my physical health by learning how to cook the right foods, or learning what foods I should be bringing to my home, or should be putting on my shopping list. Let's talk about, before I expand more on the idea of transmuting the different type of energies, because it's still kind of crude the way I explained it. Let's talk about this idea, and that's our own gardens and our own plants. Can I say that in this theory, can I say that we are a plant as well? Or we're just gardeners in our own garden? Yeah, let's just say we're gardeners for now. I don't want to say that we're the plant. But hey, when we get this daily bucket of water, the gardener needs some water too, yo. We need to have a sip too. I know a lot of people, unfortunately, that barely sip out of their own daily water. Because they can, and a lot of people do. That's why it's here. It's for us to nurture ourselves in our gardens. It's not exactly to nurture into this company or this relationship or this business or this work. Remember to enjoy your water as well, and allocate your water into your own garden as well, and into yourself. Some people there's a lot of people that can never take of their sip of their own daily bucket and invest their energy into different things out there, because when they go out and they water the plants out there, they can get the fruit to nourish them, and or the other gardeners out there give them some of their water too. For example, that's the thing why I like meeting up with Perry, because that 1%, I invest there. He takes a 0.5% sip of my water and the plants get the rest. And I also get a sip out of his water too. So like we're cool, we're sharing. It's mutual. There's reciprocity. We're sharing water with each other. And it's not only, I'm not only drinking from Perry, it's not only his drinks, his water. Like me, Susie, Peter, and all that. We're all enjoying each other's water. And we all got enough water to water our garden back at home. The different things at home, like for example, keeping our house clean, having a proper bed, our own personal hygiene, our families, our kids, our pets. When we start throwing too much of our water outside and externally, it can really dry out and prevent the things in our garden from growing and bearing the fruit that it may need. Because there's a lot of people out there that, for example, the ones that can throw all their water outside, but they're still getting by in life because everyone else they're engaging with, the other gardeners, pour water into them and their garden as well. Perry comes around and helps water my plants. So there's all the others I mentioned. That's why we have a good relationship, because we're all pouring into each other's gardens. It's not only the gardens between us. For example, now that me and Peter no longer have sprouts, but me and Peter now we have bigger plants. I come around to his garden. I share a bit of my water. He shares a bit of water at mine. It's mad. It's a fair give and take. It's a good relationship. There's nice reciprocity. It didn't spark as quick as me and Susie. Me and Susie's the garden between us went boom straight away. And then when she came over, she started watering some of my shit. And some of my plants went boom straight away. And I went to hers, and same thing, yo. All these palm trees and coconuts started coming out. It was mad. See, me and her, we got a mad relationship. But that doesn't mean anything bad about me and Peter, because we had a slower start. But when he came over one time, and then he saw some of the plants I had, and he wanted to water some of those things. Some of those things fruited. They bared the best fruit that I've ever had with anyone. And the same thing with me going to his garden. My water and the energy that I had with my water worked very well with some of the plants in his garden. Just because it didn't burst as quickly and bloom as fruitfully and big as me and Susie doesn't undermine anything about the relationship between me and Peter and how we help each other. Me and him were heaps close. We're mad G's because we know there's lots of things that work. We didn't have to rush anything. I miss Peter. I'm about to go to his garden soon after this. Spirit U, see this thing? This Spirit U thing? This is a garden I'm trying to grow right now. And like I was saying before at the start, I don't care about going viral, being famous and all that. All I care about is bringing enlightenment to the whole world. So I know soon and in very good time, the whole world will start to pour their water into the garden of Spirit U that I'm cultivating. And this garden's going to grow massive. There's going to be heaps of people and heaps of sprouts. It's going to be great, bro. I hope that we all grow awesome fruits of spirituality and enlightenment and empowerment and unity together. And I hope none of y'all put some unfavorable water into our garden. But yeah, Spirit U, it's in itself is a garden too. So right now, I'm sparking all these little seeds. What I just planted right now with the daily bucket theory, that's that's a solid tree, and I expect this tree. I know this tree is going to provide shade, good fruit, good knowledge, and wisdom to a lot of people. So when the first few people come and enjoy what this tree that I just planted provides, I hope they can pay it forward and they can share the fact that, hey, there's actually a good tree that is going to save all of us. And hopefully it doesn't come across to the wrong people that are going to reap the hell out of my garden, the Spirit U garden. Of course, there's going to be people that are going to come around to the Spirit U garden when the garden becomes big. Because, even though we're all going to be gardeners contributing to this garden, there's going to be people that are just going to leech and take what they can from it. Unfortunately, that's what happens. I know the right people will take responsibility and stop others from destroying what we're trying to build here. And I know the goodness of this garden will change many people that came with wrong intentions into having beautiful intentions. You just gotta taste that fruit. When you taste that fruit, that's when you realize, yo, it's all goodness here. It's all nourishment. I'm not trying to make money off y'all. You can give me some of your water. You can invest a lot of your water. You can grow the plants around here. But right now, all these fruits, it's all for goodness and enlightenment. These fruits are like the apple that God had in the Garden of Eden and stuff that the serpent was trying to keep y'all away from. Like, I'm not saying that y'all shouldn't eat from this tree, because I'm trying to tell you, yo, like, this fruit is good, but share. Don't hoard it, and don't collect all the fruit for yourself and don't give it to other people. Share it with everyone. This fruit, this tree, this garden is for everyone. Let's all enjoy it and let's empower each other so we can all not only improve this garden and water this garden that is spiritual, but we can all water each other's gardens, and everyone can start watering more gardens, and we can turn this place into a beautiful ass multi-garden dimension with gardens all. It's gonna be a planet. It wouldn't even be a garden anymore, like, because garden kind of implies that it's a secluded, separate place. It's the whole planet is gonna become unified again. That's see, that's the plan with Spirit U. It has to, in a sense, be a garden or a nature reserve at the start, in a sense, a separate thing. But eventually, I hope that it takes over everything so that we all become one unified planet. And there's no longer different garden, and it's no longer the Spirit U garden anymore. It's just everyone's. And everyone's sharing, and we're all watering each other with good water and growing all these mad plants that we all get nourished from. And it's gonna be great, bro. Yeah. Oh, let me go back to the notes, man. I feel like there's a lot of things I've missed out on. Give me a minute. Yeah, so relationship plants, plants of rapport. Did I explain that you don't only... It's not, yeah, so it's not only with people. You invest your water between other gardens, like companies and stuff. Yeah, I explained all that already, didn't I? Yeah, so there's lots of gardens out there to invest in. Hold on, let me go through my notes a bit more. I did talk about how when you start a garden with someone, whether they sprout quickly or not, the plants. Unfortunately, there is a very big culture. This has always been around, by the way, but there's a very big culture of people that take and consume the fruit and enjoy the shade and all the lumber and timber that they can get from all these gardens, but they don't put their water. They don't invest their water into it. Just like when I was saying, like, as the spiritual garden grows bigger, there's going to be people that are going to benefit out of it. Like, I don't know, like maybe when I start releasing a t-shirt line, there's going to be all these people out there, like, without the copyright rights, they're going to be selling the Spirit You t-shirts as well. Like, can't be helped. It happens with every big company and all that. Like, I don't know, like some of my McDonald's t-shirts, they're not official McDonald's memorabilia. I'm sorry, McDonald's, but that's just the way it is. Like, like my friend, he has a t-shirt that says McShit. It's not like like McDonald's is gonna sell memorabilia that says that, but whatever. Like, it's just part of it. Okay, we'll benefit somehow. People get the benefits without investing in the garden, without watering the garden. So like I was saying, there's going to be many people. We have to be aware that there's going to be many people that you may attempt to start a garden with, and we must be vigilant in our engagement with other gardeners, because sometimes we don't realize that we may be the only one watering in this garden. We may be the only one pouring our daily energy into it. Maybe they water a bit, but it's not a fair share that they water, because maybe they watered a bit and boom, huge trees popped up, huge plants and bushes came out of nowhere when you engaged with this person, and oh man, we have a nice garden together already. This is cool. So you continue to pour your water into this garden with them, between them. But you may not realize it, that they may not have been watering it ever since that first day. They may have only started that first day and enjoyed the fact that, boom, mad, I got a tree that I can feed off now. Oh, Danny is enjoying himself continually watering these trees. I'll just enjoy the fruit. Maybe if he asks me to, water it a bit, I guess I'll have to, but I'll just enjoy this fruit. There's a lot of people that won't continually water the trees with you. They'll enjoy the fruits that the plants and garden and the flowers that bloom. They'll enjoy all that, and they'll take and reap it. But you must realize, and you must be aware of whether, hey, are they investing in it too? And look, in terms of relationships, some people can't invest as soon as you can. Sometimes people have things pop up where they can't give their all right away. Like, I don't know, some people have trust issues. It's like, nah, I can't open up to you just then, just like that. Or some people have financial issues, or some people are busy. They have busy ass lives and they can't contribute as much right away. But the ones who are worth it are the ones that at least make the effort when they can. And it's not always about 50-50. Some people have heaps of water and they're happy to just give and grow plants and enjoy anyway. And you know why? Because they've invested their daily water into so many other things, and that other people are investing their water into them. So they've got lots of fruit and lots of water anyway. And they'll survive. They'll survive investing in a new garden with a new person. Someone I met the other day, she's worried. She was worried that she couldn't invest her water with me, because when we met up, some big ass bushes and trees sprouted straight away, and we were delighted. You know, we were like, yeah, cool. Like we both knew, like, yo, this is cool. Like we can make mad horticulture with each other. Like we're an agricultural match. Am I using the right word? Agriculture and all that stuff. Yeah, we're a gardening match. This is cool. But she's worried because I can pour more water than her, and I've been pouring lots of water because I'm having fun. I'm like, hey, this is cool. And I like the fruits that I was able to get between us. Unfortunately, a lot of it is, well, most of it, and plants have grown to the type of water that I've been putting in, and she's worried that she can't contribute that much water because she's busy and she has other things in mind. And I told her, don't worry about it. It's not important. As long as your intentions are good and I can feel your intentions are good and you're willing to give some of your daily water too, if you want or if you can, then yeah, you don't have to always give it all the time. I got heaps of water because heaps of people giving me water. Like this, like as soon as I wake up, this water bucket kind of gets overflowed because people trying to pour water into my bucket straight away. I'm like, hey, hold on. Let me water my plants first. Maybe in the theory, like, you know, when we become more high level and more connected with the world, we get multiple buckets. So yeah, let's just say I got multiple buckets. Yeah. So I was like, yo, it's all right, man. I got multiple buckets. It's okay. But unfortunately, even though she let me know, I don't feel her wanting to continue the garden with me. That's a problem. It's not that I'm not saying that. Wait, what's the right way to say this? It's fun to have this garden that we started. It's fun, and you know, I come around and I give it some water and all that stuff. But I notice that, yeah, she comes around and enjoys the garden too. But I don't know. I don't know if she wants to water it with me. And it is not about money or anything. I'll get to explaining what this water. You know what? I'll explain what this water is. Yeah. So this water, this daily energy. I don't know if I already made a Spirit You talk about it, but energy is just life and existence in itself. So one way we can think of this water is time. It's just energy. So this energy can be anything. It could be emotion. It could be actions. It can be existence. It could be knowledge, ideas, anything. Like whatever form of energy. Spirit, it could be spirit, whatever. That's what this water is. It's all those things. It's just water. It's not just water. It's energy. So every day we've got a bit of energy. And every day we can transmute this energy into what we wish it to be, so we can water and invest in our gardens, ourselves, or whatever. Someone who doesn't have much money can't bullshit anybody else by saying, oh, I don't have much money, which therefore means my bucket is empty. Fuck off. Every day we all have energy. We all have time, which means we can give our attention to anything. We all have thoughts. We can share our thoughts with other people. We have feelings and emotions and intentions, love, and if not love, hate, whatever. Like if I'm having a bad day, I could turn this loving bucket of water into hate and spread all that hate. That's me still watering. You know, it's not the best way to water everyone's plants and gardens, but hey, it's energy. Money is just one form of energy. It's an earth type of energy because it's just credit in physical form. It's the idea of credit in physical form. That's all money is. It's barely anything. Like, so if there were default qualities of what's in this water, earth energy would be like what, 20%. The other 20% would be spirit. The other 20% would be motivation and action. The other, like the earth, water, fire, air, whatever. Like, it's all like that. So it's like, it's not even like a big portion. When you have relationships with people and you water, it's not about how much money you put into the garden. It's whatever you can contribute. That's what makes a relationship. You don't have to contribute much. A lot of relationships between people are beautiful because all they need to do is smile at each other. That's it. Just smile at each other. Just that small portion of love, gratitude, and positive emotion is enough to sustain a garden for a very, very long time and make this garden bloom the beautifulest flowers and provide the strongest timber. Smiles between people produce some awesome useful timber. That's what smiles do. They make them trees strong and solid and grow very well. Smiles. Just positive feelings, positive gestures. Thoughtful, like, hey, I hope you had a nice day. Boom. Like, when people say that, I can already feel, when they say that to me, I can feel all the plants between me and them go poof, or some of the ones in my garden, poof, like they burst with more fruit and like leaves and all the other good shit that plants have. What's good about plants? Leaves, bark and wood, sap. It's just an analogy. Like, the plant is all analogous, but whatever. Some good like vegan shit. Yeah. What was I talking about? I'm getting carried away. I've had too much coffee. Yeah, so okay, I guess I was explaining like between me and let's give her a name. I'm looking at my computer and then I see games like Black Desert and Battle.net. So I'm like, oh, let's call it Battle.net. Let's not call it that. Let's call it Shiva. Okay, Shiva. Yeah, Shiva is like, yo, man, like, cause I'm always busy and I ain't got that much money. I can't really grow this garden with you. Even though she loves enjoying the garden and enjoying whenever we come together and pour a bit of our water. She loves, like, because I pour heaps of water. She loves seeing the fruits that come around and she enjoys them. But I don't know if she wants the water too, because I feel like she's saving up all, from what I can tell, she's saving a lot of her water for something else. I don't know what. It'd be nice if she'd pour some water too, or pour more water. Because, yeah, it'd be nice. But you see, part of the responsibility is mine. A big portion of the responsibility is mine. Because I know between me and her, like, we can grow awesome plants. There's so many different type of plants that me and her can grow very well together. But the problem is me, is I'm enjoying it so much that I'm putting heaps of water. So I think she feels pressured and she's kind of being deterred. Like, oh man, he's like trying to pour so much water as well. Like, I don't have much. I thought I was saving this shit for other things. And so it's, yeah, the problem is like I'm going hard watching the shit sprout between us. And she's a bit worried. and she's kind of like hesitating because she's like, oh, maybe he'll just cover it, or not that she's not thinking that, but it's just like, from what I know, she's had trouble growing gardens with people in the past. Yeah, that's what it is. Because so we grew some plants of share. What can we call these plants? A plant of solace and trustful conversations. You know, like it's a nice tree that we could go into, and has like a nice secluded like hollow that we can share our secrets to. Yeah, and she had some troublesome gardens that she was pouring her water into before. So she's a bit more wary nowadays of where she pours her water into. And me, because I'm happy-go-lucky and I'm a carefree spirit, I just chuck my water wherever like I'm having fun. And I'm chucking all this water. Yeah, I'm having heaps of fun. And it's kind of sad because like I like it when people have fun with me, and I wish that she would be open to share more water with me too. She doesn't have to share much, but like just like, you know, take my hand so we can dance. I'm leading the dance here. Yeah. But I understand that, yeah, people get traumatized when they've had bad experiences growing gardens with other people. So fair enough. And I was like, yo, man, it's not like we're dating or anything. It's like, yo, like we're just like, this is, look all this stuff we grow together. It's cool. But yeah, she's had some hard times in the past. But oh well. So all I knew is that, yo, man, like maybe, I don't know, because like, how do I say this? I like to know that whatever garden I invest in, other people are investing in it too. Because like her, having trouble at her gardens in the past, out of the many gardens that I've grown, I've had lots of experiences where I'm the only one watering. So I understand. And I'm kind of weary myself. It's like, oh man, is this another garden that I'm only watering myself? But hey, at least I'm, you know, chill about it. I'm like, hey, we had a mad time, so whatever. So in a sense, I think she understands this as well. I'm leaving that garden for now because, you know, I want to see if she wants to keep it alive too. Because I got all these other gardens out there, baby, that I love enjoying too. I got this Spirit U garden I have to worry about, if anything. Not worry, but like, you know, I got this Spirit U thing that I haven't been watering as much as I said I would. I said I was going to water this garden every day, but I've only been doing it like once a week. Sorry, Spirit U garden. Sorry, Spirit U trees. But hey, I'm here, and I've planted a big ass tree right now. What? It's been an hour and 20 minutes of me talking right now, but hey, man, we're understanding the example. I should get back to explaining more about this idea, this theory. All right, hold on. Let me look at my notes again. So I did talk about how we can transmute the energy of our daily water into different forms of energy, and how the different forms of energy affect the plant and the fruit that they bear. What's these? There was an example I wanted to explain. Okay. So, hate to talk so exposingly. Not really exposing, but one of my jobs, I'm not fond of the original gardeners of one of the places that I water, because I water a lot, and I put extra water in these gardens than what I need to. And the other gardeners at this garden, like the other workers, they appreciate that. But the founding gardeners, I don't know, they're too critical of me because I don't know what it is. Because maybe it's my carefree nature. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's definitely my carefree nature. They're looking, because, like all growing businesses, I don't want to say all, but a lot of growing businesses, it all comes down to numbers and the hard, rigid formalities, and less about cultivating people and nurturing people. Yeah, it becomes less about nurturing people. Is that the right way to explain it? I don't know. But I'm starting to feel more like a number at one of these gardens rather than a gardener. And yeah, I'm feeling less welcome. Why am I explaining this? Yeah, so... Oh, yeah, I know why I'm explaining this. And the water, I was transmuting this water into a safe water of safety, water of well-being, water of harmony. That's the kind of water that I love providing. The water of harmony, safety, and peace. And honor, because honor is a big part of me. So I always put many dashes of honor in my drink. I thought that a lot of the gardeners were putting similar sort of water in these plants as well. But the more I look and the more I smell the soil and the more I taste the fruit a bit, I start to realize what sort of water is being poured and what sort of water is keeping a lot of these plants alive. And I don't fully agree with all of it. Not saying it's all bad, it's just not in complete harmony with me. Because harmony is an important thing for me. Especially since I'm so concerned with spirituality. I like making sure things flow properly between people. I like making sure that my vibration vibrates as well as it can and should, and that anyone I engage with can at least be at a good vibration with me. I don't like having to lower my vibration to unfavorable levels just for me to work well with people, just so that I can get along. I don't like ruining my water into a type of water I don't like. So part of the watering and offering the water experience is about being aware of other people's water as well, not only your own. Mastery of yourself is very important. In Spirit You, I know it's long overdue, but I need to talk about and explain the spiritual journey, because the spiritual journey is all about mastering oneself, their own energy, their own spirit, so that they have better control of what their water becomes. In the future, we'll talk about the spiritual journey. But a big part of spirituality that a lot of spiritualists out there forget, or they don't understand that it's better that they teach, is the awareness of other people's energy, as well. Other people's water. Most people out there that are, so concerned with spirituality and all that, they're all like, spiritualists and like they're apparently enlightened. All they know is their own spiritual journey and their own supposed mastery themselves, but they've yet to master themselves because they can't even master themselves in the world. Part of yourself is you and the world. And then when you want to get into those deep spiritual phrases, you are the universe in yourself, because yeah, you are. But look, the world outside as well, that's part of mastering yourself, because you haven't mastered yourself if you can't handle anything out there. Because part of that mastery is how you engage with all the energy around you. It's not only just you in your isolated bubble and that's it. Oh, now I'm fully awakened. So all those people putting up... There's a lot of gardeners out there. Yeah, I had to use the gardener. There's a lot of gardeners out there that encourage you to build a fence and build these high-ass barbed wire fences around. And there's a lot of gardeners out there proclaiming to be completely enlightened, and they got huge barbed wire electric fences around their gardens, and it's strange and it's weird to me. And they're encouraging everyone to do the same. To me, it's strange because our gardens, I hope, will eventually all become one and not separate and divided. Of course, while everyone's a bit different and we're all trying to sort out everyone growing proper plants and sort out everyone figuring out their different energies and bettering their water, maybe a bit of separation is kind of healthy, but it's not the ultimate goal. Separation is not the ultimate goal, nor should it be one of the main keystones as well. The separation should not be a keystone. It should just be a tactic or a technique, a helpful technique, not a key factor. Separation and everyone, becoming individuals and blocking out the rest of the world, that's not spirituality. The barriers and what's that word they all use? Barriers? Is that the word that they all use? Boundaries, that's the word. Oh, yuck. Sorry. Y'all, a lot of you people out there, a lot of you gardeners out there, y'all have taken the boundary idea way too far. It's useful in some sense, but it should not be a key factor. I said should. The boundary thing, the boundary idea is keeping everyone apart. It's dividing everyone in a sense, and it's making people arrogant, especially the spiritually enlightened. It's treating people like trash. It's like going to those towns where the rich are extremely rich and the poor are extremely poor. I'm not promoting communism at all, but let me put this in silence. But the boundaries thing has gone way too far, where everyone is trying to block each other out from each other rather than learning how to harmonize. The big part of spirituality is harmony with the world, with everyone. We harmonize with ourselves to better harmonize with the world, so that we have complete and true harmony with everything. But with these big ass fences, and these fences aren't only on the surface level, they go down to the soil as well. They're making sure that the roots of this garden don't interact with the roots of the other garden. Man, a lot of what happens with plants is up in the roots and the soil. That's where most of the communication happens. If we're not connecting properly through the roots and only by talk, damn, that's some deep shit I'm about to talk about. So yeah, me speaking right now, that's like one level of connection and harmony with people. But there's also underground ways we connect with people as well, things that we don't see or perceive, and that's just as important as well. It's like the essential connections with people. It's like what creates a lot of harmony between people as well. For example, philosophies and all that, that's higher up in the air. That means, sharing healthy air with each other, but that's also down below as well, making sure that the roots and the foundations, and we're all sharing the right nutrients with each other as well. We're all eating the right foods together. We've all got somewhere healthy to be. It's like telling someone who litters at the ground, hey man, let's do our part and make this place cleaner so we all have a healthy place for our children to run free. I know you're mad at the world, but let's clean up this world and build it so it's better, so that the children can enjoy each other. Man, I'm about to go really far with this thing, but I'm just gonna cut it there because I'm supposed to stay on the daily water bucket theory. I'm supposed to stay there. I got too many things to say, yo. My bad. So like I was explaining, I wasn't happy with finding out some of the water that was running at some of the gardens I was investing in. And it explained why I wasn't completely happy with some of the fruit I was eating, because like there was this bitterness to some of this fruit. And I'm like, damn, it wasn't very nourishing. I felt like a lack of nourishment where there could have been. So like I was saying, part of our spiritual awareness is becoming aware of, hey, where I am watering my water, these gardens, is it bearing the type of fruit that I hope to be having? Am I getting the type of flowers that I hope to bloom? Because in time, when everything starts to bloom and fruit and all that, we need to also see where we've been putting our water, and is it really what we've been trying to achieve? Because I could have been pouring gallons and gallons and liters of water into this tree, hoping that it was a tree about, I don't know, becoming more harmonious with animals. Turns out this tree bared fruit that is all about how to prevent animals from coming into my space. I wanted to learn how to be in harmony with animals, not barricade them and like deter them from coming closer. It was a animal interaction tree, but I didn't know that everyone else watering this tree was concerned about how to deter, kill, and get rid of animals, while I was busy hoping that we were going to have fruits of harmony between us and animals. Is that a good example? I hope that made sense. So once the plants bloom, bear fruit, produce timber, the next spiritual thing that will help us a lot is to sit back, review, meditate, and think about, okay, what are the outcomes? What outcomes have been achieved, and are they the outcomes we wish? Are we investing in the right places? Are we providing the correct water? is this all in alignment with what sort of garden I wish to bring into this world? Because there's many gardeners out there. It's not just you yourself. Everyone is helping to nurture and provide life to all the trees out there and all the plants and everything, the rivers and all that, whatever we pour our daily energy into. So once we get to that one point where we figured, okay, now I'm going to pour my water here, there, it's best we check and we review that the plants we're hoping to grow are in alignment with what we wish to achieve. Because if not, in a sense, we are wasting our water if everyone else watering is not watering for the same purpose. We may be contributing to relationships that aren't healthy for us, in other words. Everyone's not, because people and things, everything changes over time. And in a sense, I don't want to say should, but it's healthy if we review and make sure things are in alignment with what we wish. Because we change as well. And what we wish and what we hope and what would harmonize with us changes as well. So sometimes it's time to move on to a different garden or different plants in the garden. It's time to stop watering these particular plants in this garden and now focus on these. We had enough carrots, but carrots isn't what works with me anymore, and it doesn't work with, Silent Bob and Jay and all that stuff anymore as well. Sometimes we need to sit back. Sometimes we need to talk with the other gardeners. Like, yo, let's move on from the carrots. Let's get this corn, baby. We need that corn. We start growing corn instead. And the type of corn that we would like as well, not just any old corn. I'm not trying to make potato chips. I'm trying to make, I don't know, what can you make with corn? Popcorn. Yeah. I don't know. Let's go to the notes. Back to the garden at home or your own garden. When you get better at mastering yourself, like as you develop more in your spiritual journey and you become better at transmuting your own energy, your own spirit energy, it can really affect your garden back at home. Because it's cool when you make mad gardens with everyone else out there and you invest lots of water to all these people out there as well. But you got to remember, we have our own garden at home as well. And the better we've mastered ourselves and how we can transmute this daily water, this daily energy, the better we can grow the plants back at home. A lot of people, they don't focus enough time and energy into themselves, into their own well-being, whether it be spiritual, physical, mental. When you start giving yourself more of your own daily energy, more of your time, at first the plants that you start at home may not grow as well, especially because it's hard when you have to nurture things on your own. And of course, there's going to be the people that come by your garden as well to support you. But it's hard to do. It's hard to, nurture plants on your own in a sense. But it's important as well, because that is the main. That is the main source of your life, at least here on Earth. It is the main source. it affects how much water you produce every day. It affects how well your bucket refills itself every day. Someone who is in good spirits, good mental health, and good physical health, their bucket refills very well, and their buckets are a lot bigger than those who don't take care of their garden at home. Because where did the bucket of daily water come from the start? It came from the bucket at home. It came from home, the garden at home. The garden at home is where the bucket came from. So in a sense, it's like a wooden pail. So you got to make sure you got the right timber to build another pail. If we want to get that deep. But when we become better at handling, transmuting, and understanding our own energy, we can better nurture the garden at home. It's like, what's the crude way? What's the way I wanted to explain it? The crude way I wanted to explain it is like, yo, we're always negative and all that shit, and fair enough, we pour our own daily water into our own gardens, but there's like a damn negative, yucky taste to our water. The fruits at home may not be as good, and of course we're not going to enjoy it that much, but the better we take care of ourselves, the better the fruits and the flowers and the vegetables and the wood at home becomes. So when we take the time to really work through ourselves, get rid of the weeds, understand what plants at home we should be keeping and nurturing and what we shouldn't, then we can become more nourished within ourselves. And then we can transmute and refine this daily water even more, even better. Because everything we got at home is growing well. So when we go out and engage with the world, of course the plants that we water out in everyone else's gardens are going to grow better too. Because we're having way better water already at home. That's where the self-mastery spiritual journey comes in as well. I think I'm getting tired. I don't know if I'm explaining this shit properly. But remember, everyone, I'm not ending it yet. Remember, be aware that every day, try to remember that you've got your garden, you've got you and your plants to water as well. That bullshit old 8 hours a day of this, 8 hours a day of that, that's bullshit. That is not dividing our daily water properly for a lot of people. For some people, the 8-hour day thing works very well, especially because they have other gardeners alongside them that help keep everything sustained very well. But for example, people like me, I live by myself, and I got cats and all that, and I got like a place to look after. I got the Spiritu garden to look after. I got studies to do, all that. Like, there's a lot of places I gotta water. A lot of people I gotta water too, because people come to me for water, in a sense. I gotta be aware of how I divide my energy, and the 8-hour work, 8 hours sleep and all that stuff doesn't work very well. It's not the best way that my daily water is divided. So what am I trying to explain with this? Yeah, look, just be aware of how much water you give yourself in your garden as well, because maybe your work and the commitments that you are convinced you must fulfill are taking more of the daily water that could actually be yours and used to nurture everything in your garden. You know, like those stories where there's people out there and they're not that close to that family because they're always busy doing this, busy doing that. Not that you have to nurture good relationships with your family, but it's just they didn't choose, or they're convinced that they don't have an opportunity to invest their water into the family gardens. Every day we get a bucket of water if we sleep enough and we're healthy enough to refill this, because there's a lot of people out there that when they wake up the new day, the bucket is not completely full. What we do at home and our home garden affects how well this daily water recharges. There's many people out there that don't invest enough of that water back home, and so these buckets get smaller or not as full. And then it gets to the point where, how can they nourish themselves a bit more? Well, at least all the fruit that I've been helping to grow in that garden is available to me. I'll just use this fruit and exchange it for, I don't know, material things, or go on a holiday. And then this holiday or these material things that you buy don't satisfy you, and your bucket's still getting smaller, or you're getting fewer buckets, or you're still getting less water. I can't be bothered explaining that example anymore. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm trying to explain and can elaborate in their own minds where I was going with that. But the bucket can change its size and its capacity, and there could be numerous buckets depending on what we do back at the garden at home. So as much as the world convinces us that we need to give most of our water to it, there is so much more health, nourishment, and vitality by pouring the water into plants and cultivating all the good plants that we can back at home. Look at me. Look at me. I don't know. Am I a good example? I only work about 3-4 days a week, and I'm alive, and I have time to water Spirit U. There's lots of people that want to water something like Spirit U or their own little projects, but they ain't got time because all that water is going somewhere else to unnecessary things. I'm rich. I got heaps of water. Heaps. Ugh, I sound like I'm bragging. Please forgive me. I think I'm tired. That's why I'm not explaining. Oh, I think not tired. Yeah, I think I've talked myself up. I need a break. I feel I need a break because I'm not explaining things as effectively as I wanted to. So whatever. I'm gonna cut it from here. So to recap, understand that every day we get given a bucket full of daily energy, water, and we can choose where we choose to pour that water. We can pour it into plants that we used to pour it in the past that no longer benefit us, dead plants that maybe don't even grow no matter how much we water them, plants that we have now that are keeping us alive, or even better things in the future, like new hobbies, new relationships, new occupations, new adventures. And as we water and sprout more plants with other gardeners, we find out what works well, who we work well with. We find out which gardeners we work very well with, and what kind of plants we can cultivate and sprout together, how effectively we garden with each other, and who we don't garden so well with. And there's no rush. Just because you do something quickly with one person doesn't mean you disregard another gardener. Every gardener has potential to work beautifully with. You just haven't found out what you can grow together yet. Whether you want to waste time or whether you want to spend time growing gardens with different people and finding out what you could do very well with each other, that's up to you. Because remember, we only get this one bucket every day. But every day, if you rest and you look after yourself, it refills so you can pour more water into things in your life, like relationships or other things, other plants and stuff. Yeah, did I conclude it well enough? I think so. I want to refill my bucket, so I'm going to sign off and finish the last few sips of my daily bucket. And yeah, there will be more to Spirit You. Thank you, and take care, everyone. And be aware of what kind of water you hold in your bucket, what you transmute it into, and where you invest it, where you pour your water, and how everyone else is using their water and what kind of water they're pouring into the plants that you thought you were growing. You might find that someone's actually pouring way better water than you thought they would, or you might find that maybe not. But be aware, we're all gardeners. We all get daily water. And we don't have to grow things that aren't benefiting us or the dead plants from the past. We can let go of all that. And we can enjoy the new sprouts and plants and gardens that we grow with all the other gardeners out there. Yeah, signing out.